Today on Independent Wrestling Profiles, we're talking with Rose. When did you first get introduced to professional wrestling? Like, what started that fascination?
I was a kid, and my neighbor, who was my childhood friend, we would sneak in her basement to watch WCW, and I kind of fell in love with Vampiro. And it's fun, like I've told that story so many times, but I get hyped up about it. I think about being a kid and just sneaking in the basement was so her dad wouldn't know that we were watching wrestling. And I remember the blood match that he had with Sting. I think it was with Sting, yeah. It was just crazy. Like, I remember being a kid and just loving it for some reason, which is really disturbing when you think about it, but I just loved it.
It's not too surprising. I've spoken to many performers that have started at a very young age. And did that fandom kind of carry through as you were growing up, going through adolescence, teenagehood? Like, did you always carry that fandom with you?
No. When I got a little older, I kind of stopped watching wrestling because, I mean, I was already like a weird kid and I didn't want to be any weirder, you know? And no one was watching wrestling really in my, I don't know, it wasn't really a big thing in my town. So I just kind of stopped, and then I started in the bar industry when I was 20, and my manager would play WWE all the time, and I just kind of found my love for it again. And because of Vampiro, when I was a kid, I was like, I want to do this one day. So it kind of just solidified that when I restart watching WWE.
Your fandom kind of waned a little bit just because, growing up, other life interests and things like that. But Vampiro sparked it. Did that kind of idea in the back of your mind that I want to be a performer or that I want to be involved, did that kind of stay constant at least?
Oh yeah, 100%. I've always been in the entertainment industry. I did like lots of type of dancing. I did acting my entire youth, and then I was singing, touring with a band for a while. So I've always known that my place was in the entertainment industry, at least. But I didn't know I had a future in sports entertainment until I actually did.
Okay, so it comes and goes, but what was the trigger event? Where were you at in your life when you just kind of decided, I'm actually going to look into the training. I'm going to pursue a school. I'm going to actually give it a go myself.
That would be so in Edmonton. When I moved out of Edmonton to go to Victoria, I met Braden Goss, who's a wrestler in the Okanagan. And when I moved to Victoria, he told me that they were opening PWA again with Eddie Osborne. And he told me to just try, because I told him my story about Vampiro and stuff, that I've always wanted to kind of try it. So I just messaged Eddie, and then I showed up, and here I am now.
And when you showed up, how was that experience, those first days, those first weeks in training? Did you find that it was more challenging than you expected? Was it something that came naturally to you? Like, how did it feel to actually put that into motion?
I hate saying that because I've also worked a lot. Like, I've put my heart and soul and my health in this, but it kind of did come naturally, which I was really lucky for, and which was so weird to me because I've never really done any sports like at all. I mean, I was doing kickboxing, but that's about it. Not for a long time before I started wrestling. But the first day was horrifying. Like, I remember he was doing it in a mall. And I remember walking down the hallway and hearing the thuds of the mat. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? This is so scary. Like, I had never been to a wrestling show, so I didn't know it was this loud. And, it's just intimidating. And then I just showed up and started rolling around. And I was just like, wow, I can actually do that. So,
was there an element of it, maybe it was character work, that you just kind of got more quickly than anything else?
My intensity, I guess. I've just always had that. Maybe because I did acting my entire life, but even nowadays, I always get told by many people that what makes me a little different is that it just comes naturally to me that I have intensity in the ring, and I'm I can easily show my emotions and stuff. It just, yeah, I didn't work on that. Like, it's just who I am. So
Was that wrestling training that you were in, was it like a set start and end date, or was it kind of like you just train until you get greenlit?
no, I just, yeah, you could, well, I mean, you should always train forever and never stop. But no, Eddie school is you go in and there's not a beginning or an end date. It's just you start and yeah, you just never stop.
So, how did it come to be that you got your first booking? When was it that you got in the ring in front of a crowd for the first time?
That's kind of crazy to talk about, especially in wrestling. Like, it's kind of frowned upon on some people, I guess. But I was really new, like 3 months into training, and I had my first match. But it was with Eddie, so my coach. So it was with my coach, so he knew what I could do, and you know what I mean. That so it definitely wasn't great, but it went. No one got hurt, and it was really fun. So yeah, that's how I had my first match. It's crazy.
Great or not great, that's subjective, but how did you feel about it? How was it being in the ring? Was it everything that you had anticipated? Was it a whole new rush that you had never experienced before? Like, what were your emotions going through that match?
Well, it's crazy. You're taking me back. I actually remember after a long time after this match, I would always say that it's crazy because I've done so many. I've been in front of a crowd so many times. I'm super comfortable. Like I don't really get stage fright, but there's just so much component to wrestling. It's such a different crowd, and it was just horrifying. It was so scary the entire time. I was scared, but also super thrilling, obviously. Yeah, it was just it's different than anything I've ever experienced before. It was scary.
So, you have obviously gotten past all of that now. You've been performing for some time. Can you take me through some of the most memorable highlights that you've experienced? Not necessarily best matches, but maybe milestones or things that just held dear to you, even if they were fan interactions. If you were just think back, what are some of the best moments that you've had in your career thus far?
Well, that's crazy. I've had a lot. Like it's this has been just a blast entirely. I guess I gotta say one of my biggest highlight match was with Max Benson. We had a no DQ. That was crazy because I've been wanting to do a no DQ since I started wrestling. That was like 2 years, a year and a half into having matches. So I was really excited about it, and they went so well. And just going to war with my little bro, like it was incredible. The crowd was the rowdiest I've ever heard. Like it almost, honestly, it beat Defy. Like Defy and Prestige. I don't know if you know those crowds, but they're insane. Like just the best. But 365 on my no DQ with Max was out of this world. Like it was perfect.
Any others, or just that one that you want to highlight at this moment?
I could name you like a million, honestly. Like I have so many. Let me think. I mean, obviously, being in the same ring as Athena at the Bell Center, that was insane. It was, I mean, the biggest stadium where I grew up. Yeah, never would have thought I would wrestle there. That's insane to even think about. And here I was in the middle of the ring in Bell Center with none other than Athena. Like that, that was awesome. That was a thrill
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
have to imagine that's a surreal moment to just be there. Like, this would have never happened if I wasn't a performer at this time.
It was just amazing because like no one knew I was gonna be on Ring of Honors, and here I was, and then all my friends and all like my wrestling family from Quebec, they were all there, and then they started cheering my name at the Bell Center. It was crazy, like hearing your name chanted at the Bell Center. Unreal. Yeah, it was an unreal moment for sure.
So, I am going to be speaking this month to all of you, but I would like to know how, in your words, it came to be that you were paired up with William Taylor and Nate Nixon.
I mean, I wasn't really expecting it at all. I think they just saw the potential and they wanted to get behind me, period. So I just showed up and they were right there to help.
So it wasn't a performer or a storyline. You guys just behind the scenes decided that we're going to work together, we're going to support each other, and it just kind of grew from there organically.
Yeah. I think they just felt my energy when I came back. I'm like gonna stop at nothing to just to get that belt, right? So
Okay, so you've been fairly well traveled already. I mean, Victoria, Edmonton, Quebec, every different place, I'm sure. But I need to ask, is there still some bucket list options that you have for you? Places you'd like to visit, companies you'd like to work for that you would like to see, not long term goals, but just where would you like to see Rose next?
I'd really like to do West Coast Pro, like sooner rather than later, for sure. But I mean, end goal would be anywhere in Japan, really.
So I have to do the cliche wrestling interview 101 question and ask you, who is the dream opponent? If you could get in the ring with anybody that is currently performing, we'll keep historic out of it, but somebody that is currently lacing up their boots, who would be the ultimate dream opponent for you?
Does it have to be realistic?
No, you don't have to justify it. You don't have to. I mean, if you want to come up with an idea of how it happens, that's fine. But just who is the dream opponent? If I could wave a wand and say, tomorrow you are competing against,
Yeah, Kenny Omega, 100%, like without a single doubt in my mind.
is he one of your current favorites? Like, I know you started with Vampiro, but I'm sure as a fan, there's probably people that as you've evolved your taste and your knowledge of it, that have really risen to the top for your fandom.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's one of the, if not the greatest wrestler, honestly. Like, I just think he's amazing. Everything he does is crazy.
So I like to take a moment to step out of the ring and just ask, like, what kind of interest do you have outside of the wrestling world? Who is Rose in more of a day to day kind of idea?
I'm an outdoorsy girl for sure. I like to go camping. I like to fish. I mean, I train, obviously. I love training. I love doing kickboxing. Going on hikes. I like to sing. Okay, it's actually super geeky. I don't think I've ever told this to like on an interview, but I love doing puzzles. It's like if I could just do that all day long, that's what I would do. To be honest, like I started a 2,000 piece yesterday, and I'm maybe three quarter done. It's crazy. I'm obsessed.
You know what? I'm going to join you in this. I've never said it out loud, but I love doing puzzles too. In fact, I've reviewed video games that were just jigsaw puzzles, and I don't even know how I managed to do that, but
What?
I
That's
just
crazy.
love it. It's therapeutic, really.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Now, I do want to ask you, like, there's a lot of energy, a lot of experience, a lot of performance. When you were getting into wrestling, did you know that, like, did you have an idea in the back of your mind already, like, who you wanted to be, what persona you wanted to put forward, what kind of impression you wanted people to leave an arena with about you?
I knew from the get go, I knew I wanted to be fierce. I didn't want to be a diva. I love divas. I have nothing wrong with it. I mean, Chelsea Green is wonderful. You know what I mean? But for me personally, I wanted to be more of that aggressive baby face. I think that was the main thing for me, to be a little more aggressive than most people in the ring nowadays, anyways, I guess. But besides that, no, I didn't even know. Yeah, I had no idea. Like the whole gimmick, Rose, I didn't even know when I started. So
Was there anybody that contributed to that, even if it was inspiration wise, or was that just a natural evolution of you coming forward as you discovered more of yourself in the wrestling capacity?
yeah, I mean, everyone around me had kind of helped to build who I am today from like my gimmick, I guess. I think especially Casey Ferreira. He's the one who designs my gear, and we were throwing ideas out there, and it turned out to be a whole gear as a flower, like as a rose. And I was like, damn, like now we don't have a choice. Let's just go with that gimmick, I guess. And yeah, just everyone I've wrestled has contributed to who I like, the gimmick I have today. The fans definitely helped out with that.
Now, you have a history with music, performing in a band, so let's have a little fun with that. You are going to go to the gym or you're going to head off onto a long road trip. What's on the playlist for you?
I love that question because no one ever expects it. Country music, like all the way. That's all I listen to.
Is there any top performers for you? I mean, let's throw out some recommendations, maybe even some unique ones that people listening are not familiar with that they need to discover.
Huge fan of like old Western stuff, but I really like Jackson Dean. I think he's my top artist, my top country artist right now.
Okay. I don't know country too much, but hey, giving out recommendations is always fantastic.
Yeah.
Kind of in a similar vein, you're heading out on a road trip. Who are you packing in the car with you for the best time that you can have?
Okay, I'm gonna pick wrestlers because at least people can relate a little bit, I guess.
Sure thing.
Um, Not Max Benson for sure. He is obnoxious with the music, so not him. Not him, and I can't wait to post this on Instagram. Everyone's gonna be like, yeah, you're right. He always wants to control the music. Anyways, uh Legacy, Nathan Legacy for sure is in my car. Stephen Crow, because he's hilarious. Oh my god, it's hard. I love everyone. I want them all in my car. Yeah, Nathan's driving for sure, FYI. Steven, Taryn, because TFA, because they just go together. Like, they have to be together. I don't know. This is hard. Travis Toxic, because I just love the guy and I miss him. And I don't know. Zoe Stagger. I
That's
had like the
awesome.
funniest road trip with her. Yeah, I guess that's
That's great. That's great. This one might be a little bit more difficult to recall, maybe, but what is the best interaction that you've had with a fan since you started performing?
I've had so many. Oh, you know what? I'm really sad I'm not at my house right now, so I can't show you. But this absolute sweetheart, he built like plastic roses for me with a vase. Like, I don't even understand how he did it, but they're plastic, and he made the whole template and like built it himself. I don't know how you make roses out of plastic, but like, he did that for me. So that was probably one of my favorite gift I've gotten from a fan. He was just so sweet. So
Awesome. Okay, I just got two questions left for you. One of them is if from the people that you've shared a locker room with in your time in the industry so far, who is the one person that you could just listen to endlessly, whether they're giving advice or telling road stories?
um oh god, that's really hard.
Didn't say I was going to make it easy for you.
There's so many people. God, I guess I want to say MRB because he can talk about wrestling in a manner that no one in this world can, and it's just so fascinating and incredible. And he's hilarious when he wants to be. But I think I'm gonna say Travis Toxic because he's hilarious. He always has really funny stories, and he's an amazing wrestler. So yeah, he just checks all the boxes. I guess.
Okay, so I did say I had two questions left, but I'm actually going to adjust that and say I still have two because I want to add one more. And it might not be something you want to answer, but what is the most random story you can tell me about your wrestling career?
I mean, if you want to hear something very unfortunate, my first match with Travis Williams, and he was like my dream match at that point. And I was finally having that match with him, and I rolled my ankle so very badly. The first the first 2 minutes on a kick, like that was the most embarrassing thing I've done in my life. And then I had to do the whole like that little like dream match that I had. I had to do it on a almost broken ankle. So I've twisted that so many times in matches. Like, it's not even funny.
That is unfortunate, but hey, it's amazing that you got through it. That's
Yeah.
impressive. Not everybody has the fortitude to be able to pull through that.
I keep having it in my mind, and I think I'm going to change my answer for who I would like listen to forever. And it's also someone that I need to be on a road trip with me at all costs. Elliot Tyler, the just the funniest dude you'll meet in your life, and he's so knowledgeable with wrestling too. So yeah, okay, sorry, I had to say it. He would hate me
No,
if I didn't include him. He would hate me.
you don't have to apologize. Okay, so now my real last question, and I ask every single person this question. If you could go back and talk to a younger version of yourself who is just on the fence about getting into wrestling training, what advice would you give yourself to make that decision easier or make the progress easier, or even that could help somebody else that's right now on the fence about getting into the industry themselves?
Don't wait. Basically, just do it. Don't wait. I regret waiting. I was 26 when I first got in the ring, and I regretted waiting that long just because I guess I didn't have the opportunity, but I didn't look into it, right? Like, but it was probably also because I was scared and I didn't want to take the leap, and I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone and stuff. And then when I did it, it was just the greatest thing ever. And now, I'm almost 30 and I only have 3 years of experience. Imagine what I could do with another six. Like,
Yeah, no, that's great advice. I mean, if you're going to be a performer, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone at some point.
you just can't
So
do it. Honestly, that's the advice. Just do it. Just do it.
that's amazing. So before we sign out, can you just let people know once again who you are and maybe where they can follow you on social media if they just want to keep up to date with what you got coming up?
Sure. I'm Rose. I am a professional wrestler. I've wrestled everywhere in Canada. I've done AEW twice. I also wrestle in the States sometimes. And you can find me on Instagram mostly. That's my main social media account at Roses Are Gray with two Y's. And you can find me on Twitter, but I'm never on it. So you can if you want. Rose Pro Wrestler. And then on Facebook, it's Rose Pro Wrestler as well.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Independent Wrestling Profiles. Please help out the show if you can with a like, subscription, or review. We'll see you next time.